Isn't it amazing the number of people whose ancestors had miraculously lucky escapes? Grandmothers who survived the Blitz, great-grandfathers who decided at the last minute not to board the Titanic, great-great-grandmothers who, just on a whim, turned down Jack the Ripper's 10 shillings. Heartwarming stories, all of them. But no, not amazing. Of course our grandparents were by and large lucky, hence they survived to have us. Both my grandfathers, for instance, were in protected industries during the war. Those of a lot of my friends were conscientious objectors. I used to think that was a coincidence until eventually I realised that people who refused to go to war were, Darwinianly speaking, onto something, and that it's not in fact so very surprising that you don't meet many people whose grandfathers took the bridge at Arnhem. Our history through the last century is one of disease epidemics punctuated by global war. We are all, of necessity, the descendants of the lucky or the cowardly. Not that I'm suggesting conscientious objectors were cowards. I count them in with the lucky. It's just that in their case, they were lucky that the type of bravery they had to show wasn't the type that got them killed. And probably a couple of them were cowards. Though, of course, we're just now reaching the point where old people didn't fight in the war anymore. I mean, some of them did, but you've got to go quite old to find them. We're down to our last 3 First World War veterans in this country, and 2009's crop of 80-year-olds were too young to join up even in 1945. These days, when a 75-year-old says he didn't fight a war for the likes of you, he's telling the simple truth. He was evacuated for the likes of us. And that's a hell of a trump card for the chronologically enriched to lose, because unlike, say, the Victorians, our society doesn't have a default respect for our elders. If anything, we venerate youth. At least up to now, this has been tempered by a grudging respect that while Grandad might be a daft old dribbler now, he did at least save the world from the Nazis, much like Indiana Jones. Whereas this lot of old ones aren't just a nuisance, grumpy and liable to drive too slowly on the motorway. They didn't even beat Hitler. They lost as an empire and presided over our long slide into mediocrity. Nice going, Gramps. Hope you like the nursing home food. And you won't. The question is, what will happen when we, a generation that fetishizes youth and not age, get old? We won't even be able to fall back on the rugged, if generally right-wing and statistically more prone to racism, self-confidence of the currently old. We'll be busy showing respect to our youngers, who, given that every generation revolts against the values of the one before, will probably be aggravating us by insisting on treating us with courtesy and admiration. I don't know what's the matter with young people today, we'll respond tetchily. When I was your age, we beat the crap out of the likes of me.